Welcome to the very first Worst to Best for Modern Warfare 2, a series I do where I rank all guns with any weapon class based off their stats, and only after I unlock Platinum Camo and have a considerable amount of experience with each weapon. This episode is all about the assault rifles, and there's 8 of them to cover, so we're just going to jump right into things. Starting with the number 8 spot, the worst assault rifle in Modern Warfare 2 at launch is the M16. And I haven't even used every weapon in this game yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's the worst weapon in the entirety of Modern Warfare 2. It just does no damage and is a hit marker machine. On paper, if you land all 3 shots in a burst within its close range profile, you get a 1 burst kill and one of the fastest times to kills you can get with an assault rifle. The problem is, if one of those shots hits an arm or leg, it's going to take you a minimum of 4 shots to kill, which means more than 1 burst. It has a bouncy recoil pattern, which makes it more likely for you to hit limbs or just straight up whiff shots. It has a slow fire rate and cycle rate, making it easy to whiff shots from flinch during a gunfight, and hard to follow up with the second burst before you inevitably die, and all these problems get amplified at long range. At extreme ranges, it shouldn't take you more than 5 bullets to kill, but I swear it takes 5+ bursts to get a single kill with the damage output and recoil issues this thing has. On top of all that, the M16 has the slowest aim down sight in class at 290 milliseconds, which you can feel out of the box, and this is likely to be amplified by attachments when you try to optimize for recoil to make this weapon usable in the first place. I mean, sometimes your shots will be hitting with the M16 and it feels good, but this gun is just inconsistent and frustrating more times than not. Just hands down, worst assault rifle in the game. Fair warning, spots 7, 6, and 5 may be a bit contentious. I can see people having them ranked differently, but hear me out on them. Just wanted to throw that out there because I've been doing this for a while and I know how passionate people can get. And while I'm on a tangent, don't forget to click the like button on this video and consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to leave this graph on the screen for a few seconds. I'm trying to improve those stats. So moving on, at the number 7 spot, I have the M4. Going strictly off its statistics, it should be higher on my list, but there's something about this weapon that just doesn't feel good, at least when you first use it. And it's not just me that feels this. My friends have said the same thing, and I've seen plenty of people online share the same exact thoughts. On paper, the M4 is supposed to be one of the most consistent rifles. It deals the same damage throughout the body, resulting in a 4, 5, or 6 shot kill, which are all average to slightly above average time to kills. The main problem with this weapon is the recoil. It has a strong kick and pull to the left and gets hard to control once you get out to mid-range and beyond. The M4 also has average aim down sight, sprint to fire, and reload speeds. Once you unlock some attachments, the M4 becomes pretty good. The recoil becomes manageable, ADS gets pretty snappy. The problem is you have to not only stick with the M4 to level it up, but you also will need to use other weapons within the M4 platform to unlock the stronger attachments like barrels and stocks, which takes some time to do. Overall, the M4 is a struggle at first, but it gets better if you stick with it. I just think it asks for a lot from players compared to some of the other assault rifles, and it doesn't necessarily specialize in anything, which is why I have it at the number 7 spot, but I could see the M4 being as high as the 5 spot. At number 6, I have the Lockman 5.56. This is a slower killing assault rifle with very little recoil. Like the M4, the Lockman will deal the same damage throughout the body, resulting in 4, 5, or 6 shot kills. However, because of its slower fire rate, it has the slowest time to kill in the assault rifle category in just about any situation. The exceptions are at its range drop-offs from close to mid and mid to long range. The Lockman has the best base range in class, so there are situations where it will outgun most ARs between those transition points, but other than that, it will be killing noticeably slower. We're talking above 400 milliseconds at longer ranges, which is really slow in this game. The best part of the Lockman is its recoil. Its recoil is a slow pull that goes directly up, and it's very easy to control, making the Lockman not only easy to use, but one of the more consistent feeling assault rifles in the game currently. All of the Lockman's handling stats are average except for reload. It has the slowest reload in class at 3.5 seconds, so you have to be wary with that. Coming in at number 5, we have the Kastov-74u. Now, some of you may be scowling right now because this weapon gets a lot of hate. Let me make one thing clear before we go any further. Close range, this is the worst assault rifle, but at long range, it has the second fastest time to kill and only trails behind the assault rifle at the number 1 spot. So the 545 deserves a little bit of respect. The 545, as well as the next 2 weapons on this list, have 4 range profiles instead of the standard 3, which give each weapon some unique places to shine. And on top of that, the 545 has better base range like the Lockman, which sounds like a good thing but isn't necessarily beneficial. I'm not going to get too technical, but what this does is it extends its painfully slow close range time to kill of 276 milliseconds up to 32 meters, which means this gun is getting outgunned by most weapons in this game up close. The 545 will start to outperform most assault rifles at the start of mid-range because it retains that 4-shot kill up to 41 meters. Then it will start to fall behind again after that third range fall off, and then beyond 56 meters, you're looking at the second best long-range time to kill for assault rifles. It has a standard upwards recoil that drifts right a little bit, but the pattern is much more linear, and the magnitude of recoil isn't as severe as some of the other assault rifles, so it's easy to correct for, making it feel amazing in long-range engagements and ground war. The last thing to mention is the Kastov-545 has a below average aim down sight speed of 260 milliseconds, which fits it because it caters towards long range play, but overall, it's an interesting weapon. It's really bad and also really good at the same time, and hopefully now you know its use cases and when to pull it out. That gets us into the top 4 assault rifles on my list, and each of the remaining weapons are good to great assault rifles that stand out practically and statistically, and these are weapons that you should gravitate towards using. At the number 4 spot, we have the TAC-56, aka the Scar from previous Call of Duty games. This is a slower firing assault rifle that hits pretty hard, but it's fairly unforgiving. Its recoil is pretty standard. It pulls straight up and then will drift right a tad. The spread is very tight, which makes it a fairly accurate weapon, and accuracy is what you need to perform well with the TAC. Again, the TAC has 4 range profiles like the 545. If you hit upper chest shots, you can get a 3-shot kill, which clocks in at 192 milliseconds, up to 28 meters. This is the second, or arguably third fastest close range time to kill among assault rifles. If you're not landing chest shots, you're looking at a 288 millisecond time to kill, which is slower than the Kastov-545. So when I said this is unforgiving at the beginning, this weapon is pretty unforgiving. If you're landing crouching up, which is fairly easy to do, you're going to retain that 4-shot kill up to 44 meters, which is alright in terms of time to kill. It's nothing too special. And you can actually retain that 4-shot kill up to 55 meters if you're landing chest and up, which is again like second to third fastest time to kill among assault rifles within this range. Beyond 55 meters though, you're looking at 5 shots anywhere to the body. This is pretty average when you're talking long range for assault rifles, but you gotta remember this: if you miss a shot with the TAC, your time to kill is going up almost 100 milliseconds for every shot missed. So as I said in the beginning, this is unforgiving for inaccurate players, but if you have some decent aim, this weapon is pretty easy to use and can chew through players. Now we're getting into the top 3. At the number 3 slot on my list, we have the STB-556. This is an assault rifle SMG hybrid that is just devastating up close. This is the only assault rifle with a unique sprint to fire time of 110 milliseconds, which is on par with the fastest SMGs currently in this game. This also has a unique close range damage profile that allows for a 3-shot kill up to 15 meters, clocking it at 162 milliseconds. This is not only fast for assault rifles, this is only beat out by 2 to 3 SMGs. It's very impressive, but you have to land chest and up shots to do this. Otherwise, it's a 4-shot kill up to 27 meters. Thanks to its extra range profile, if you land at chest shots, you can retain this 4-shot kill up to 47 meters, which is amazing and only beat out by the assault rifle at the number 1 spot on my list. If you can't get that 4-shot kill, you're looking at a below average time to kill, and at long ranges, there's a noticeable lack of stopping power and it starts to get mediocre. However, the recoil is pretty smooth, it's easy to land your shots, the faster fire rate makes it more forgiving if you do end up missing your shots, so it's not unusable at the longer ranges. And when you step back and compare the STB to the SMG class, its long range time to kill is definitely better, and it's looking like its close range time to kill is better than at least half of the SMGs. The only true downside to the STB556 is that it has a below average reload for assault rifles, but again, if we compare this to SMGs, because this is kind of a hybrid weapon, it's looking like this reload is faster than about half of them too, so just something to consider. But as an assault rifle, it's a monster of a weapon and well deserving of its top 3 spot. On the topic of close range engagements, we have the Kastov-74u coming in at the runner-up spot. Forget what you know about the AK-74u from previous Call of Duty games. The Kastov-74u is also an assault rifle SMG hybrid in Modern Warfare 2, and this thing slaps. It is my personal favorite for assault rifles. I want to put it at the #1 spot, but I think the remaining AR is much more viable as an assault rifle. The 74U's non-damage stats are average across the board, except it has a snappy 210 millisecond aim down sight time, which is fastest in the assault rifle class and on par with some of the best SMGs. Plus, the attachments for the 74U cater towards improving handling speed significantly without crippling other important stats, and when you combine that with its faster base movement speed, this thing just feels really responsive and snappy. Now for damage, the Kastov-74u will be a 3-shot kill anywhere in the body up to 22 meters, clocking in at an impressive 184 millisecond time to kill. It's not as fast as the STB556, but way more forgiving and thus more consistent. The 74u absolutely melts people in standard multiplayer. Unfortunately, its range falls off very early. From 21 to 35 meters, you're looking at a 4-shot kill if you can land at least 2 chest shots. Otherwise, it's a 5-shot kill. And that's the difference between a 276 millisecond time to kill, which is the same as the Kastov 545, it's competitive, and a 368 millisecond time to kill, which is bad at that short of range. Beyond 35 meters, you're really looking at a 6-shot kill, which is 460 milliseconds, which is the slowest in the assault rifle class. But if we compare this to SMGs, it's actually pretty good. But I mean, realistically, it's still surprisingly usable at long ranges if you're trying to run the 74U in something like Ground War, because the recoil on it is not that bad at all. So if you're more of an aggressive player who can keep the gunfights within that 3 to 4 shot range, you're going to love the Kastov-74u. I know I do. It just absolutely melts people. That brings us to the #1 spot. The best assault rifle in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is the Kastov-74u, which is your traditional AK-47. Really, the only bad thing about this weapon is that it has the second slowest aim down sight speed in the assault rifle class at 270 milliseconds, and slightly slower movement speeds. Other than that, this weapon deletes people. It's a consistent 3 to 4 shot kill, clocking in either 200 or 300 milliseconds. This is above average in close quarters combat. At mid-range, it can start to trail behind average if you're not hitting chest shots, but at long ranges, this is your king. This is the fastest killing assault rifle currently in the game. On top of all that, you can get a 2-shot headshot kill with this weapon, up to 45 meters. That's a 100 millisecond time to kill, which is the fastest possible time to kill you can get between all the assault rifles. And this is feasible to do because the weapon, it does have some kick to it, but the recoil pulls up and to the right, and it's in a fairly tight pattern like the 545. It just kicks a little bit more. So it's not challenging to use in close range. It is not crazy hard to use at long ranges. Once you get used to the recoil, this weapon is a melt machine and outguns most ARs at any range. It is the most versatile AR and definitely deserves its spot at #1. But hey, maybe you disagree with me on an assault rifle or perhaps my entire list. As always, you're encouraged to comment your own worst to best list, or you can share your thoughts on my overall rankings. At this point in the video for Vanguard, I would share some classes for all the weapons mentioned in the video. However, I'm not doing that for this video. Check the comments for more info. I might start including class loadouts in future worst to best, but I could use your feedback on how to go about that. So check out that pinned comment. Please don't forget to click like on this video, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.